Hello there, Maverick Currency traders. It is Monday, June 23rd. In this session, we're going to go through the news of the day. We're going to go through commodities, wild swing in the oil markets today. And I've got a couple setups for you in both crypto and in Forex.
All trades and analysis in this video are intended for professional traders only. This content does not constitute financial advice and is for educational purposes. This video is being released after a short delay due to Compliance Department review. Maverick members receive this content immediately as part of their daily trading resources. If you're ready to level up, consider joining Maverick Currencies. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits. You bring the skill, we provide the backing. Let's get into today's market recap and see how the pros are trading the currency markets.
All right, let's go ahead and start off with the news. There was a lot of news over the weekend. Over the weekend, the United States struck Iranian nuclear facilities. All right, so what this did, the markets weren't open, but the crypto market was still open. Bitcoin fell, all the other cryptos fell. They were down about 4 or 5% that night. And Bitcoin briefly traded below the 100,000 for a little bit. And then people started to buy a little bit. And then the futures opened up on Sunday night. And the low point, everyone just started buying. So we went from down 1.5% in the futures up to about down 0.5% for most of the night. By the time I woke up Monday morning, futures had gone positive. And you can see that we had a run in the morning. And then we fell apart for a full percent. And then we ran after that off of some news that the retaliation that was expected from Iran was measured. They attacked one of the bases in the Middle East, and they basically said, okay, that's it, we're done. Signaling we had to do something, but we didn't want to do something to make the U.S. really mad. At this point, tensions have come down. Oil, huge reversal in oil, up to 77, down to 67 by the end of the day. And you can see here on that big drop, that was from the news of the retaliatory attack not being as strong as possible. Lots of geopolitical stuff happening over the weekend, and all it did was basically provide volatility, but we're really not going anywhere. And that has been the story I've been talking about the last 2 to 3 weeks is that, sorry, not 2 to 3 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, is that we have sideways moving markets, but they're very volatile. So you've got to be a range-bound trader, or if you're a trend trader, you got to sit out. That's just how it is at the moment. Taking a look at the Forex market, European currencies continue to outperform. That's been our theme here. We liked the yen short this week, and the yen was the weakest currency today. You're going to see we had a nice risk-off bounce over the weekend. From that news, I think the yen looks prime for a short. Aussie, Kiwi are not participating in the risk-on move. If you are waiting for that Aussie and Kiwi to participate, I think you should turn your computer off and come back in a couple months because they do not look like they're participating at the moment. So really, it's European currency strength against dollar and yen weakness. In the equity markets, you can see that markets are up about 1%. Oil just plummeted 9.24% after being up about 4 or 5% on the attack. Cryptos had a decent day. Bitcoin up 3%. But if you take a look at this low, we're right at the bottom end of the range. Things look really good now in crypto. In my opinion, the best trade setup I've seen in crypto for a while here. If we take a look at where we are in the markets, we're at a +2. Could I go to a +3? Sure I could. But I always like to be a little bit late. So we touched the 20-day moving average this morning, and actually at some point we're trading below the 20-day moving average. I'm just going to be a little slow to move from a +2 to a +3. I've been saying this the last couple of weeks, and I want to just remind you, if you were in a coma for the last 20 years, you woke up, you saw this chart, you didn't know about the attack in Iran, you didn't know about the tariffs, you didn't know about anything, you would look at this and say, wow, what a strong bullish market. I got to get long. I got to get long. We're likely to get some breakouts from here. So that's where we are. Equities look like they are at least going to hold this base or go higher. Forex is moving somewhat, but not really as much. And we got cryptos that I think look like they're really primed to have a nice little run here over the next couple of days. This week, we talked about CPI out of Canada. We got that coming up tomorrow. And we got Aussie CPI in the afternoon. So really, Aussie and CAD are the ones that are going to be in the news. Everything else, pretty weak and small news overall. Let's go break down all of the currency baskets. All right, I'm going to run through this quickly. And remember, I'm taking a look at a 4-hour chart. I've got our 3 indicators here. And I'm basically just saying, okay, where is it? This is what I love on yen. We got break on yen, new lows. We rallied back up and we failed. That's a really nice bear rally. And you can see the yen has been in this nice pattern in the downward move. So I like the yen short here quite a bit. Got the dollar. Take a look at the dollar. We just made this new high. We just came down for 2 days. I don't love it. RSI's at 50. EMA's down. Could someone make a case to go short dollar? Maybe, but it's not the best trade out there. So I only like to take the best trade. So dollar is off my list at the moment. Here is the Swiss franc. Swiss franc, a really nice run to new swing highs. It's pulling back at the moment. Let that Swiss franc pull back. I like the Swiss franc on the long side. But the question is, what is better, the euro or the Swiss franc? And you can see the euro is clearly better. Euro is hanging on to its gain where the Swiss franc was pulling back. So for me, it is euro number 1, Swiss franc number 2. Maybe you could put pound as number 2, a little bit above Swiss franc. But the European currencies look like they're moving quite a bit. Taking a look at CAD, Aussie, and Kiwi, you're just going to see we're just stuck in ranges. CAD is just kind of going sideways, not going anywhere. Aussie, not really going anywhere. Kiwi, not maybe having a bear rally here. I don't love Kiwi short here, but technically speaking, it's telling you it's getting into this area where we should see some resistance. But look, you don't have to play there. I like to play other places. So speaking of other places, again, I like the euro, Swiss franc, and the pound against the yen. And I also like crypto. I'm going to go up to a daily chart here. I just want to show you kind of where we've been trading here on this chart. And you can see we've got this base here. I'm going to draw this a little bit bigger. And anytime we've gotten down to this 100,000, that has been the bottom. We have no idea if it's going to actually bounce this time. None whatsoever. The top is 110,000. We're at a 103 here. I like this setup for a possible run like this. I don't think we're going to break to new highs, but I could easily see a run, maybe not all the way up to 110, but 107, 108. That to me looks interesting enough. Big question is Bitcoin the best trade? We take a look at Bitcoin Cash. It's pulling back. I don't love it here. Ethereum, I don't love the fact that it broke below its support. It broke below its base. I do think Ethereum is probably going to join the rest of them, but I don't like the trade as much. And Litecoin, no, this is downtrend. So really, Bitcoin here is what I like, and I think you want to go into a 4-hour chart or even a 1-hour chart and buy a pullback or a base. So at this point, we just had it run to a new swing high. I want to let this thing pull back into the 103 area. I think that could be a good place to start looking for a possible trade when that momentum reverses. So Bitcoin to me looks decent as well. Let's take a look at my favorite crossing, Euro Yen. This was our favorite over the weekend. And you can see just a really nice breakout. Another nice candle here. So we just got this breakout and we got this long upper shadow here. Not too long, but it's telling us, okay, it's pulling back or basing here. This is where we identified a clear breakout and run on a daily chart. Now it's just a matter of grabbing positions. Again, we want to grab positions on pullbacks, any bases. That's where we want to be grabbing positions. Again, any bases we see. We're seeing a base right here. I think it's just a matter of time until we take a position. Do you want to wait for the breakout? Do you want to take half here, half on a breakout? It's clear that it's going one direction. The question is just when to get on. And I think looking at a 4-hour chart, we had this 8 hours of pullback here. We're starting to get a bounce. To me, This looks acceptable for a bull pullback. Absolutely acceptable here at 169.24. Where is the next run? Well, new swing high is going to take us up into the 170, 170.20 area, somewhere right in this. So again, a decent trade, not a great trade, but it's a decent trade and worth taking a look at. So here is our volatility scoreboard. Euro in the lead, yen and dollar weak, but yen much weaker. And you can see everything else +2, decent. You can take it, but all of the growth currencies, the Aussie, the Kiwi, the CAD, I just think you should ignore at the moment. So the yen is still the best play in Forex. I like that yen short. We had a nice little rally off this risk-off move. I really like that yen short. And I think that Bitcoin, if you are into range-bound trading cryptos, then I think you've got about 4 or 5% of upside up to that 110 area where there should be some resistance. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the Currency Recap. Goodbye.